If you have type 2 diabetes, what you eat every single day matters more than any medication you'll ever take. But here's what most people get wrong. They focus on what not to eat instead of what to eat. Today, I'm sharing the 3 foods that science shows can actually help reverse insulin resistance, lower your blood sugar, and protect your heart, kidneys, and nerves. And the best part, these aren't even expensive superfoods. They're simple, affordable, and you can start today. I'm Diana. I'm a registered dietitian and a certified diabetes care and education specialist, and I have my master's in nutrition science. I've spent years helping people with type 2 diabetes take control of their health, and what I'm about to share with you is backed by hundreds of studies and real results. Now, I know you've probably heard a million times that you need to cut carbs, avoid sugar, and basically eat like a rabbit. And while reducing ultra-processed foods and refined carbs is important, that's only half the story. The truth is, there are foods that actively work for your body. Foods that can help your cells respond to insulin better. Foods that slow down blood sugar spikes. Foods that protect your organs from the damage that high blood sugar causes. So let's get into it. These are the 3 foods you should be eating every single day if you have type 2 diabetes, and I'm going to tell you exactly how much to eat, why they work, and how to make them taste amazing. The first food is non-starchy vegetables, and I'm talking specifically about leafy greens like spinach, kale, and arugula, and cruciferous vegetables specifically. Things like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cabbage. Now, I know what you're thinking, Diana, really vegetables? That's not exactly groundbreaking, but hear me out, because most people with diabetes are not eating nearly enough of these. And the research on why they're so powerful is pretty incredible. Here's what makes these vegetables so special. First, they're loaded with fiber, but they have very, very low amounts of carbohydrates. We're talking about like 2 to 4% carbohydrates, and most of that is fiber. So when you eat a big plate of broccoli or a huge salad, your blood sugar barely moves. In fact, studies show that people who eat more leafy greens and cruciferous vegetables have better blood sugar control and a lower risk of developing diabetes. But it's not just about what they don't do to your blood sugar. These vegetables are packed with nutrients that actively help your body. They're full of magnesium, which helps your cells respond better to insulin. They have antioxidants that protect your blood vessels, your eyes, your kidneys, all from the damage that high blood sugar causes. And cruciferous vegetables, specifically like broccoli and cauliflower, actually help your liver detoxify and process insulin more effectively. For more about cruciferous vegetables and why they are the #1 vegetable for diabetes, definitely check out my video about this topic. Think about it this way. When you have type 2 diabetes, your body is under a lot of stress. High blood sugar creates inflammation everywhere, in your arteries, in your nerves, in your organs. These vegetables are like a fire extinguisher for that inflammation. So how much should you eat? I recommend at least 2 to 3 cups per day spread across your meals. And I know that sounds like a lot, but it's easier than you think. Here's how I tell my clients to do it. Start your lunch and dinner with vegetables. Make them the star of the plate, not the side dish. Have a big salad with spinach, arugula, cucumber, peppers. You can roast a sheet pan of broccoli and cauliflower with olive oil and garlic. Saute some kale or bok choy with your eggs in the morning. And here's a pro tip. If you're struggling to eat enough vegetables, try blending them. You can make a green smoothie with spinach or kale, and I promise you won't taste it. You can even blend cauliflower into soups and sauces. You won't taste it, but you'll get all the benefits. The key is to make these vegetables easy and delicious. Don't just steam plain broccoli and suffer through it. Add flavor. Use olive oil, garlic, lemon, herbs, spices. Make them something you actually look forward to eating. Now, I want you to think about this. If you're eating 2 to 3 cups of non-starchy vegetables every day, that's taking up a lot of space on your plate and in your stomach, which means there's less room for processed carbs, sugary foods that spike your blood sugar. You're not just adding something, you're crowding out the bad. That's how you start to reverse insulin resistance from the inside out. All right, food number 2, legumes. So I'm talking about beans, lentils, chickpeas, black beans, kidney beans, pinto beans, split peas, and even soybeans like edamame and tofu. Now, this one tends to surprise a lot of people because legumes do have carbohydrates, and you've probably been told to avoid carbs or go low carb if you have diabetes. But here's the truth, not all carbs are created equal, and legumes are one of the best carbs you can eat. Let me explain why. Legumes are what we call a low glycemic index food. That means they don't spike your blood sugar the way bread, pasta, or rice does. Even though they have carbs, they're packed with fiber and protein, which slows down how quickly that sugar gets into your bloodstream. In fact, studies show that people who eat legumes regularly have better blood sugar control, lower A1C levels, and less insulin resistance compared to people who eat more refined carbs. One study even found that replacing just one serving of refined grains with legumes improved blood sugar levels significantly. But it gets even better. Legumes help you feel full. That fiber and protein combo keeps you satisfied for hours, which means you're less likely to snack on junk food or overeat at your next meal. And then when you're trying to manage diabetes, controlling your appetite and avoiding blood sugar roller coasters is huge. Legumes also protect your heart. People with diabetes are at a higher risk for heart disease, and legumes have been shown to lower cholesterol and improve blood vessel function. Not to mention, they're also great for your gut health, which plays a big role in how your body handles insulin. So how much should you eat? Aim for 1 to 2 servings most days of the week. A serving is about half a cup to 1 cup of cooked beans or lentils. And here's how to make it easy. Add black beans to your salad, make a big pot of lentil soup on Sunday and eat it throughout the week. Toss chickpeas with oil and spices and roast them for a crunchy snack. Use hummus as a dip for your veggies. Swap out half the meat in your tacos or chili with beans. And if you're worried about gas or bloating, start slow. Your gut needs time to adjust to the extra fiber. Begin with smaller portions and gradually increase. Rinsing canned beans really well can also help. Here's why this matters so much. Legumes give you energy without spiking your blood sugar. They're filling, they're affordable, and they're incredibly versatile. When you start eating legumes regularly, you're giving your body a steady, slow-burning fuel instead of the quick-burning, blood sugar spiking fuel from ultra-processed carbs. That's how you train your body to use insulin better. All right, the third food, nuts and seeds. I'm talking about almonds, walnuts, pistachios, cashews, pecans, chia seeds, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, all of them. And I want to be clear, I'm talking about the unsalted, uncoated, plain nuts and seeds, not the honey roasted, chocolate covered, candy coated versions, just the real whole food. So why are nuts and seeds so powerful for people with diabetes? Well, there's a few reasons. First, they're packed with healthy fats, protein, and fiber. That combination helps stabilize your blood sugar after meals. When you eat carbs by themselves, your blood sugar spikes. But when you pair those carbs with nuts or seeds, the fat and protein slow down the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream. It's like putting a speed bump on the road. And studies show that people who eat nuts regularly have better blood sugar control, lower insulin levels, and a reduced risk of heart disease. One study found that eating just a small handful of nuts a few times a week significantly improved insulin sensitivity. And several other studies show that adding nuts to a high carb meal can reduce the blood sugar spike significantly. Nuts and seeds are also loaded with magnesium, which is critical for insulin function. A lot of people with diabetes are deficient in magnesium, and that makes insulin resistance worse. By eating nuts and seeds, you're giving your body the nutrients it needs to use insulin properly. For more information about why magnesium is just so important for diabetes, definitely check out my video on this topic. And let's talk about your heart for a second. People with diabetes are 2 to 4 times more likely to have a heart attack or a stroke. And nuts and seeds actually protect your heart by lowering bad cholesterol, reducing inflammation, and improving blood vessel function. They're one of the best things you can eat for long-term health. So how much should you eat? About a quarter cup per day, which is roughly just a small handful. That's about 150 to 200 calories. So you do need to be mindful of portions because nuts are pretty calorie dense. So again, just a small handful is all you need. A little bit really does go a long way. Here's how you can work them into your diet. Sprinkle almonds or walnuts on your salad. Add chia seeds or flaxseed to your yogurt or smoothie. Keep a small bag of mixed nuts in your purse or car for an emergency snack. Spread almond butter or peanut butter on apple slices or celery. And here's a trick I love. If you're about to eat something higher in carbs, like a piece of fruit or a slice of whole grain toast, eat a few nuts with it. That fat and protein will blunt the blood sugar spike. Here's the big picture. Nuts and seeds are like insurance for blood sugar. They help smooth out the spikes, they keep you full, and they protect your heart and blood vessels. When you eat them every day, you're giving your body the tools it needs to handle insulin better and stay healthy for the long haul. Okay, let's recap. If you have type 2 diabetes, these are the 3 foods you should be eating every single day. Number 1, non-starchy vegetables, especially leafy greens and cruciferous veggies. Aim for 2 to 3 cups per day. Number 2, legumes like beans, lentils, and chickpeas. Aim for 1 to 2 servings most days. And number 3, nuts and seeds. Aim for a small handful, about a quarter cup per day. These 3 foods work together to lower your blood sugar, improve your insulin sensitivity, reduce inflammation, and protect your heart, kidneys, and nerves. They're not magic, they're not a quick fix, but when you eat them consistently day after day, they create real lasting change in the body. And let me give you an example of what a day might look like. For breakfast, you could have scrambled eggs with sauteed spinach and a side of berries with a tablespoon of chia seeds. For lunch, a big salad with mixed greens, cucumbers, peppers, chickpeas, and a handful of walnuts dressed with olive oil and lemon. For dinner, grilled chicken, fish, tofu with roasted broccoli and cauliflower and a side of black beans. See how easy that is? You're hitting all three foods, you're getting tons of nutrients, and your blood sugar is going to stay stable all day long. Now, I know that changing your diet can feel overwhelming, especially if you've been struggling with diabetes for a while. You might be thinking, okay, Diana, this sounds great, but how do I actually put this into practice? What do I eat for breakfast? What about snacks? How do I make meals my family will actually eat? Well, that's exactly why I created a free guide to help you reverse insulin resistance. It includes meal plans, recipes, and a step-by-step roadmap for exactly what to eat and when. If you want it, just comment the word guide below and I'll send it straight to you for free. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'm Diana and I'll see you in the next video. Now go eat some vegetables.